he's helping me an extra set of eyes. Do we have everything coded right? Is there a way we can put this number over here and it increases something else? We're trying to look at that. That's what we're looking at. Does that answer your question? Because I can't give you specific names. Even if we have a list of names, I can't give you names. But we don't have a list of names right now. We have not started the process. We have a RIF policy in place, a reduction in force policy in place. But it has never been utilized since I've been on the board in Emanuel County.
You answer the question.
Okay. Anybody else got a question?
All my questions, but one, for the mandate, how much was mandated by this federal money we took, the stimulus money? Did it cause, I guess the way I'm trying to put it, did it cause us to have to spend more money locally in order to receive this stimulus money? And where is it told where it has to go?
Let me give you a layperson's statement on that. It hadn't cost us to spend additional money. It's cost us to play a little bit of a shell game. Where is this being funded from? This is being funded with federal money. But if there was something cut in the budget and this was an English teacher, we couldn't take that federal money we were getting and fund an English teacher. But if she could be a special language arts teacher, we could fund it with that. So if somebody may have stayed in place but been funded with the stimulus money, but the title basically had to be changed because it had to fund a new job, not an old job.
Stimulus money can only be used to fund new positions. Anybody that we currently had on staff in that position, we were not allowed legally to fund those positions because they wanted new positions. So your question would be, well, do we have to hire new people to use the stimulus money in new positions? And then we're going to be worse 2 years down the road. So that was our initial thought. After we kind of brainstormed and tried to figure out how we could work this out, we took basically our model teachers, and this is a double-edged sword too, but what we see is our model teachers, our high-performing teachers, and we made them instructional coaches for the system. So we moved them, and they're instructional coaches now for the system. So that is a new position because they were teaching, and now they're an instructional coach. So we didn't hire anybody else and increase our expenditures, but we moved some of that burden of stimulus money so that we were technically, creating new positions.
And that covered us in a place where we were losing money. That's what it did. It kept them a job, kept them on the payroll that just paid for out of a different spot.
Y'all looked at it close and you feel like it did help us.
Yes.
Those people, what we will have them, they're not assigned to a school now, and those instructional coaches that we hired, which are the 7 or even more, will be, their kids have the highest test scores, that type of thing that we looked at when we looked at the data to choose those teachers. Not that we have other teachers that shouldn't have been chosen, but those are the ones we could afford at the time. They will go around to the other teachers in the other classrooms, model that behavior. Tanya Wilkes would probably like to make me be quiet and she would explain this further because she's in charge of this initiative. But we are hoping that they can go around to all our other teachers, monitor their progress, work more based on the data, not just on what we're seeing in the classroom, but putting those into numbers and seeing what the performance is and why this class is not performing. And hopefully that is going to help our AYP so that our whole system will be making AYP and not just 1 or 2 schools.
Are they also teaching?
Go ahead.
I'll add, we are receiving the Title I stimulus money, $1.7 million, and $1.2 million of that has gone to salaries. So of these 7 people we're talking about, so those folks were actually funded through state dollars last year, and now the federal is picking them up, so that is a $1.2 million savings for the Board of Education in the state and local dollars.
So it's saving from the money we normally would have gotten from the state, which we don't get it.
Yes.
Right, and if we hadn't got the stimulus money, we'd either had to let some more folks go or raise taxes more. Ricky?
One question, several questions. Number one, I appreciate the job y'all do because I've been in the hot seat and I know what it's like and trying to balance budgets. But I do have some concerns. One of the questions I got is the equalization that you talked about, that if we raise the millage rate, the higher we raise it, the more money we could potentially get back to state. Is that factored in to your revenues? Are you anticipating that, or you're not in your budget?
Good question. It is not in our fund balance. That $1,092,000 that we project in our fund balance, we have not rolled it in at this point because we're scared to, because it is the one area that the government has cut the most.
So we could have more than $800,000.
We could theoretically end instead of $800,000, we could end with $1.8 million.
That equalization money would not come to us until a midterm adjustment, which would make it January, February, March before we received it, so then the next year we could evaluate.
It would be a good thing to have that extra money.
Yes, sir.
In reserve. The other thing I want to ask is the furlough days. We've already taken 2 of those, right? No.
Yes.
Yep, 3 is what the.
Free, we've taken 2.
Take 2. Why did Emanuel County take it before the kids started school and not take it during the school year to save on the bus drivers, the food service workers, the custodians? Because I know of other counties that have done that. And those furloughs is affecting school-wide.
The governor asked us not to take days where teaching days. Our 3 days we take are 2 planning days in August, and we're planning to take 1 planning day in January. You're correct. We could have saved more money by furloughing bus drivers and others, but then we're cutting instructional hours. So our decision was to not.
But those schools increased the minutes per day for the first half of the year to cover that.
They have done that. I guess I've been in the classroom too long. You don't add 10 minutes to the school day and replace school days. I mean, you can mathematically add it, but those that teach school will agree that you don't get quality education when you go from 3 o'clock to 3:10. However, if we get cut 3 more days in January, we may not have any flexibility not to do what you're talking about. But we chose to stay on the instructional positive side right now, which you are correct. There are a couple of exceptions, but most people did what we did by far.